So you want to make money during the land flipping gold rush, huh? I'm going to show you exactly how. My name is Olufemi, and I made multiple seven figures flipping land before the age of 25. I had my first seven-figure profit year when I was just 23 years old. I was making money with land flipping off the internet before it was super cool. I've done multiple deals and where I've made 6 figures plus in profit. Enough about me. I've also helped multiple people create and generate multiple 6-figure profit incomes from literally zero. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you just a few things that I have learned along my years and along my experience of building this business, scaling this business, and helping other people do the exact same thing. So first things first, a lot of people talk about volume in this game. And while volume can be important, it's way more quality over quantity. When you focus on quality over quantity with this business, your stress is lower and your profits are always higher. And so you hear guys talk about volume and they might say like, oh yeah, you can make $10,000 or $15,000 per deal. In reality, these guys are aiming for the bottom of the bottom type of property, and they're making $1,000, $700, $2,000. And trust me, these are the same guys that are DMing me and asking me how to do bigger deals. And then they will be on social media talking about how they do all this volume. So enough said, but this does happen. So you want to be able to do larger deals. You want to be able to do quality deals. It's always quality over quantity. If you can have one deal that makes you $100,000 and spend 10 hours on it, or you have 50 deals that make you $100,000 and they take you 50 hours, which one would you choose? I always want to choose the one that's going to take me less time and make me more money in a shorter period of time. Now, how do you find deals that are going to consistently make you 30, 40, 50, $100,000 in profit on a consistent basis? It's all about market research. We always reverse engineer. So what is selling, and in what particular areas are these properties selling? When we know those two things, then we're able to go in and find markets and where we can buy and sell quickly. Now, when I talk about buying and selling quickly, what is selling? What kind of property is selling? How quickly are they selling it? I need to always make sure that these properties are selling within 90 days or less. If I know that the property is selling in 90 days or less, well, then that means that there's a market for these areas. Great. Well, then if I see a property that was 25 acres and it was listed in July and it sold in October, wonderful. Any property that's similar or comparable to this gets added to my data set and I carry on. Now, more so than the strategy of what we're targeting, this is extremely, extremely important. It's about half of the pie. The other side of the pie is actually talking to sellers. This is when you do have to have some consistency. This is where you do have to have some fortitude within yourself in order to talk to sellers on a consistent basis. Most people are not able to talk to sellers on a consistent basis because it can be hard. These people might cuss you out. They might say that you're a scammer. They might call you a grifter. They might report you to their AG. They might do all kinds of stuff. And listen, I have to be as transparent as I possibly can because my reputation depends on how transparent I am. When I first started this business, there were many people that did not tell me about all the trials and tribulations that could come with it simply because they wanted me to buy something from them. I later came to find this out. But this is how it goes. Do I have coaching? Do I have mentorships? Absolutely. But I am always going to disclaimer you and tell you that, hey, there may not be a guarantee that you will make millions of dollars doing this, and you have to be okay with it. There's not a guarantee that I'll get up from here and survive the way home. There's no guarantee on anything. And I feel like many times people look for guarantees where you shouldn't look for a guarantee. You should work as hard as you possibly can. When you go to college, they do not guarantee. Imagine if on every degree you got, like if you got a business degree, imagine if on the business degree, they had a thing where they said, if you do not get a job at IBM, Apple, or Microsoft within 3 years of graduating, we will refund you all your money. Can you imagine if they had that? But they don't have that. Why do you think they have that? Why do you think they don't have that? Because all of this depends on your effort, your skills, and your ability to improve your skill. I can give you all the knowledge, I can give you all the implementation, but ultimately what matters is your skill, your ability to improve the skill. Now, I have to tell you that because there is a lot of risk that comes with the business. And so if you're not gonna be willing to get on the phone with sellers and have great conversations and have quality conversations and learn how to have really good conversations with sellers, well then you will lose money. You will get lost. If you don't know how to follow up with a seller 40 times and you feel embarrassed to do that, well then you will get lost. If you feel like, oh, well, I just want to let the deals come to me, well, let them come to you, but you will be broke. Ultimately, you will not make the amount of money that you want to make. That's just the reality. If you want to do this, you have to be aggressive. And so you have to ask yourself, before I get into land investing, before I get into land flipping, am I willing to have that savage in me? And I've heard people that say like, oh, well, you don't have to negotiate. It's absolutely not true. The best deals that I've ever gotten, I negotiated. I've negotiated deals down from $600,000 to $300,000 and made multiple six figures. So that's absolutely not true that you don't have to negotiate. Negotiating is what makes our economy great. Negotiating is what makes America great. And so if you're not willing to negotiate, if you're not willing to get on the phone and figure out what someone's true issue is and how you can solve that issue, well, then this is not for you. So you must be willing to negotiate. You must be willing to get on the phone, have great conversations with sellers. And the other thing is just truly get down to a person's problem. Talk to them in a way that makes them trust that you will be able to solve their problem. If you could talk to a seller in a way that makes them feel like you'll solve their problem, they'll trust you amongst anyone else. Now, when it comes to how we actually go about finding these deals with our marketing, marketing is one of the most important pieces of this as well. Because if you can market to sellers in a way that makes them trust you, makes them feel like they know you, and makes them like you before they even talk to you on the phone, this is the ultimate advantage that we have. While people are sending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of text messages that have no touch, and while I still do this, the thing that we also implement are personal touch letters, personal touch written letters to specific sellers and where properties that we want to buy. And properties that we know we can buy at 50% of their market value and go resell for way more and make a ton of profit. We put personal touches on these things so that they feel like they know, like, and trust us. And we do that consistently. We do that by the thousands and thousands. And I don't just send out random mail. I specifically target specific areas in where I see properties selling for specific price points and extremely quickly. We do this through all the way from Q1 to Q4. Now, when it comes to actually selling property on the market, we always paint the highest likely buyer. We always paint the best picture possible for the highest likely buyer profile. So I always ask myself the question, who is most likely to buy this property? Why are they most likely to buy it? So if they're most likely to buy it because there are deer on the property, well, then I need to highlight the fact that there are deer. If they're most likely to buy it because you can hunt on the property, whatever you're gonna hunt, I need to highlight that. Or if they're trying to farm, I need to highlight that. If they were gonna build houses, I need to highlight that in my pictures, in my descriptions, in the best way possible so that this specifically attracts that person. Now, you do all these four things together, market selection, marketing, acquisitions, and dispositions, well, then you have yourself a well-oiled land investing machine. Now, where it gets really fun is where you get to master these processes, do deals multiple times through. So after about maybe 10, 11 deals, a couple $100,000 in profit, after you doing this, then it is time to systematize your business to the point where you've built out processes, you built out standard processes that you can delegate off. When you can delegate those processes off, now you've put yourself in a situation and where you have teams doing things for you. It's delegated. People will talk on the phone for you. They will select markets for you. They'll send mail for you. They will sell property for you. They will find new brokers, new realtors for you, and they'll be able to sell your properties quickly on the market. And you can have very little input in the day-to-day of your business. And then you can even go for bigger empire building plays like finding industrial parcels of land in areas and where properties are going to be selling for tens of millions of dollars. These are things that I'm currently doing right now. Now, the way you can truly take advantage of this is simple. It is by learning how to implement at the highest level. It is by learning how to send your marketing so that it rises to the cream of the crop of every single letter template, every single mail pile that there is. It's about making sure that when you talk to a seller, they think of you before they think of the other 10 people that they talked to that week. Now, the question is, how do you do that? You do that through something that's already proven. You do that through systems that are already proven. You see, at my consulting company, Landverse, we have proven systems through and through, whether it be sending out your marketing, whether it be market selection, whether it be talking to sellers on the phone, whether it be selling properties. I've done this time and time again, and I've also helped other people do it time and time again. So we have proven systems, a proven track record, and where we know what works and we know what doesn't work. And because I actively do this, I know what doesn't work on any given month or any given day, because this always changes. And so even if you don't get any help, understand that if you master those 4 pillars, no matter how long it takes you, you'll be able to truly take advantage of the land flipping gold rush. If you don't, it will be very hard for you. Your deal flow will be sporadic. Your deal flow will be sparse. You'll be wondering why you're not making as much money as you wanted to make, because your deal flow is sporadic, because you don't know how to set up follow-up touch points, because you don't have any systems in your business, because you don't know how to talk to sellers, because you don't know how to sell properties on the market, or maybe because you don't know how to pick markets. There are multiple things in where I work with clients and they have just a ridiculous amount of constraints in their business, and it's because they're not paying attention to it. It's either they're not paying attention to it or they don't know it. And right now we're literally in the middle of, the land flipping market right now is just absolutely booming. It's booming right now. People are buying, people are selling. And if you're not taking advantage of this, if you're not going to be able to do the large deals, you're missing out on an opportunity here of the next 12 to 18 months to really create some true wealth and cash flow for yourself. And I hope that you're able to do it. This business model really changed my life, and I've taken it seriously from the time I was 21 years old. And if I hadn't taken it seriously, I would have nowhere near the life that I have now. And I wouldn't have been able to impact the lives that I have impacted. And so I hope the same for you. As you grow and as you watch my videos. Watch this video right here. I talk about specifically how to go and find 6-figure land deals and how to use AI to find 6-figure land deals in 30 minutes. And I'll see you guys in the next video.